I just finished writing an email to our email database, and I wanted to share with you a couple thoughts in no particular order. First off, if you are one of my real estate friends who happen to be watching this, and you don't have to be in real estate to watch this, but if you are in real estate, that's the majority of who we serve. So we finished our masterclass this morning. I did a planning masterclass talking about 2026. And, here's the funny thing. As algorithms change, platforms change, this is what I know to be true. And I work without a plan. It is always better to work with a plan. Winging it is not a plan. Today we talked about things like time blocking and getting your strategy together, content that actually sparks a conversation, content where you have an opinion, where you're sharing not just generic information, but really sharing helpful content. So I'm sharing this with you because I wrote an email going out to our database talking about the masterclass and also talking about our academy. As I was writing this email, and this is why I'm sharing this with you, as I was writing this email, I had kind of an epiphany of what I wanted to say. And here is the beauty of writing your own content. And again, don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of ChatGPT, but if you are using AI to write all of your stuff for you, there's something in your brain that is missing. Yes, it's quick and easy, but you're missing, I don't even know, I'm not an expert in the psychology of it, but you're missing like the brain part of thinking through what you want to say. Because as I was writing this email, and I was originally like, cool, this is kind of a promotional email promoting this class, promoting our academy and Black Friday, blah, blah, blah. I was like, wait, I want to say more than just that. And as I'm writing, what I said was, who you listen to matters. And I was thinking about this because at our Get Social Smart Mastermind a couple weeks ago, one of our attendees really beautifully and graciously said, like, Katie, I made the intention a couple years ago to really limit the voices I listen to and to really think about intentionally, who am I listening to, who am I in terms of like podcast or coaching or training, and who am I spending money with? And I was really honored that I'm part of that list. So it's one of the things I said in this email, and it's one of the things I wanted to share with you also, is like, there's so many people talking about social media and content and how to show up. I recommend limit the voices. Pick a handful of people in your industry, out of the industry, that you resonate with. Like, for example, I specialize in working with people in the real estate industry. So one of the things I'm really passionate about is, like, I think as an agent, you don't need to be a content creator. You don't need to be an influencer. Like, social media and content are like a slice of the pie of everything that you do in your business. But at the end of the day, I think it's important to listen to people that you resonate with. I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea. It's all good. So listen to who resonates the most with you. I think that's so important. We are all looking at how we spend our time and how we spend our money more important than ever before. So that, I think, is super important. And then the last thing I want to say is, right now, we are all looking at budgets and everything. Again, there's a lot of stuff that you could pull out of ChatGPT. I mean, for example, I did a whole planning masterclass today. You could go on ChatGPT and create like a whole 2026 content plan. But I think there's a lot of value still in working with a professional who's able to give you nuance. And like, that's the difference between just AI and like inserting the human factor, right? It's the nuance. It's working through and asking questions and just that personal aspect. Look, I know AI is getting better and better, and a lot of us have mixed feelings about AI. I think it's cool. I think it saves us a lot of time. Heck, I've done a ton of classes on AI, but I don't want to lose the human factor. So for me, I've been going back to writing more and more of my emails just personally, like cutting out does it take more time? Yes. But let me tell you, I get a better click-through, I get a better open rate, I get way more people replying because it's me, right? Versus everybody's sounding the same. Anyways, those are just a few kind of random thoughts that I had about content and planning and, again, sort of trimming who you're listening to because I think it's important. Anyways, let me know what you think. Sorry, it's a little long. Feel free to tap to speed this up if you're watching on TikTok or wherever you're watching. Bye for now.